Hey, just wanted to do a quick video for you guys. I've had a couple people asking about, knowing when gouldians are ready to breed, kind of some of the signs to look for. So I just wanted to do a quick video. I know there's quite a few videos out there. There's a few points that I wanted to touch on, just a little bit that give you a little bit better indication of when your gouldians are showing signs that they're ready to breed. So I'll state the obvious at first. Gouldians, one of the biggest signs that you can look for is the color of their beaks. So for the females, their beaks turn a dark color, almost a dark black color. And if you look in here for the males, let me zoom out a little bit. If you look at the males on their beaks, when they become into breeding condition, their beaks become almost a pearly white. So you could compare it to, the shell of an egg. It's pretty white. Just put a little bit of a shine on that, and that's kind of what the males look like when they're in breeding mode. So my males are getting pretty close into breeding mode. You can see a lot of their beaks are becoming pretty clear and white, which is a good sign. And if we go, I'll try and get a couple good shots on my females. They're pretty flighty right now being in. So my females right now, they're about in the midway point as far as their beaks becoming black. So my Gouldian finch right here, she's orange head, purple breast. Right now she's probably my hen that's most ready to breed. And another thing that she does to show me that I want to talk to you guys about is she'll flap her wings a lot. She'll kind of flutter them. She won't fly. She'll just sit on the perch or on the ground, and she'll just kind of flutter her wings. And that's kind of a sign of she's getting ready to breed. She's kind of uneasy. She's got energy. She's trying to get around to the males. I'm gonna step out of the flight and hope that she comes and lands on the perch, and I can show you what I mean when she's flapping her wings. And the males will do that too when they're getting ready for breeding mode. And this mainly happens when they're separated from the males. It's almost as if they're trying to get to the males, or they just have so much energy or excitement they can't contain it. It's kind of how I would describe it. But it seems like, so if we watch her, I might be quiet here for a minute and see if she kind of does it. Well, she might not do it for me, but we'll just keep the camera on her while I talk, and see if she does it. So that's another thing to look for. With my females, they come into breeding condition before their beaks are jet black. So honestly, right now, I could probably put my orange head there. See how she's flapped her wings right there? So she'll do that all day. And she'll usually flap her wings, and then she'll fly over to the male. She's already paired up with the male. Right there. The one that's up there with her. And he'll come and sing to her. So, in reality, she's ready to be put together. She's ready to be paired up. I'm waiting just a little bit, just because we're going on a family trip this weekend. And I don't want to pair them up and something happens, so I'm just waiting until I get back from my trip next week so that I can pair them up. So that's something to look for. Look at your pairs. I mean, and honestly, my hens and my males, if you look up here, oh, she just flew off. they've paired up too. So they're kind of already self-pairing. So I've just been sitting in here and watching them, and I'm actually really happy with who they've paired up, because those are the ones I was actually going to pair them up with anyways, as far as getting head colors and back colors. And so they're making my job a little bit easier, because this year I was going to selective breed instead of allow them to colony breed, which I have done in previous years. But they're already pairing up with whom I want them to, which is absolutely fantastic. It'll mean when I throw them in the cages, they'll go right straight to building their nest and laying eggs. They're not going to fight or anything like that. And many times you'll see when they fly over there, the males will start singing to her, and she will pay close attention to the male. So that's another sign that the females are ready for breeding condition. They'll sit there and they'll listen to the males, almost as if they go into a trance phase. And many times you'll see that when the males will start singing and doing their dancing, the males or the females after will shake their tail. They'll kind of flutter it up and down. So that's another clear sign that they're ready to breed, and they've accepted each other as a mate. So that's a few things. Probably one of the last things that I would mention, and this goes for both males and for females, when they're in breeding mode, they become a little bit territorial. They establish their pecking order, and especially the males, they become a little bit more aggressive, and start chasing each other around, just kind of showing who's the dominant male. And the females would do that as well. So if you see your gouldians becoming just a little bit aggressive, you see how that happened right there. So they're getting ready. They're ready to breed. And so this next week, I'll pair them up together, split everybody up, just so that they're not fighting like that anymore. And the females would do that. I mean, gouldians, they're not aggressive to where they're going to fight to the death. It's mainly just a little bit of push and shove match to show who's the boss, who's the king of the bunch. And so these are just a few things to look for when you have your gouldians together, and maybe a few signs to look for if your gouldians are not in breeding mode. So your hens, their beaks will be a very light color when they're not in breeding mode. And your males, their beaks will become, they won't become a shiny white. They'll be kind of like a dull grayish color. And that kind of just showing that they're not in breeding mode. They won't sing as much. They'll still sing when they're not in breeding condition, but they won't sing as much. And if you put your pairs together, keep a close eye on them the first day or two. If they're fighting a lot, that means they're not ready. Or they may be ready, but they haven't accepted each other as a mate. So split them up and put them in an individual cage like this. Here's my blueback pair, which I'm not pairing these two together. I've actually, they were just fluffed up a little bit the other day, and so I put them out and put them in an individual cage and be giving them some heat. But you can put them in a cage like this, have like a clear divider so they can see each other, and the male can sing to her. And that'll be a little bit easier, you know, so if the female's not quite ready, the